Honeysuckle and Rachel Blackmore, Racing's golden duo!
Tiger Roll joins the greats and beats Magic of Light.
Best behaviour on the near side with the wettest of saves for Barry Brown and Oliver McKiernan. Local trainer Derek comes in again beyond his test. Lord Lyon wins it from...
It's Samco on the stand side before he had the second round. Fahey lands in the lead by half a length and goes on from Samco.
Hello and welcome to a special edition here, and we're going chasing. We're just going to preview the racing from Cheltenham tomorrow. It looks as if all Irish racing is cancelled. Navan was pulled at around lunchtime today. Saturday's meeting there. There's an inspection tomorrow for Cork in the afternoon, and also an inspection in the afternoon for Punchestown. And by all accounts, it looks as if Punchestown is gone and Cork is more than likely gone as well. Cork possibly has a better chance than Punchestown, reading between the lines. Would I be correct, Killian?
Yeah, I think so. I think Mallow has its own sort of eco-climate there as well. You see, when it rains, it pours. I don't know. I would have said Cork had a better chance than Navan or than Punchestown anyway. So, look, it'd be great if they were both on. I was just wondering, do you see there they've all the covers over in Cheltenham? Do Ireland not have any covers, or have we the price of them, or what?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it comes down to manpower and the expense of it, and that. I that's what I'd imagine it comes down to.
Without getting into politics,
I've never seen a cover in Ireland, anyhow.
Without getting into politics, we've about 80,000 Ukrainians that could do a bit of job there, too,
Less of it. Right. We'll keep the politics out of it. And even over in the UK, actually, we're not going to have much racing there either. A lot of it is going to be pulled. We might have Cheltenham and Doncaster, that could be it, and then a few bits on the all-weather for yourself, Killian.
Sure, look, someone has to back it.
Right, the first race there, the juvenile hurdle at 12:05. Have you had a look at that?
I have, yeah. I think I was looking through it, and the top two in the betting, Nusret for Joseph and Scriptwriter, they're both first preference is in Doncaster, but as you said, Doncaster is more than likely not going to go ahead, so they will run here. Nusret's a 6-4 shot off winning the maiden. I don't know, it's a bit skimpy for me. I like Scriptwriter, 102 rate in the flat for Aidan O'Brien, with Milton Harris now rate 130. I'd say he's a bit better than that. I'd chance him at the prices there, 3-1 tomorrow.
Yeah, you love looking at the flat ratings and that, when they go over hurdles and that. It's not something that I get too bogged down in. Looking at that grade 2 at Cheltenham in November, Scriptwriter and Persis Way, he's 3-1 as well. The two of them were first and second, and I thought that was a weak race. I said it here on the podcast at the time. I had no time for that race, to be honest. It was a weak grade 2, and I said that none of them horses would be around come March. And I still think that. I think actually Scriptwriter, I don't see, there's nothing between Scriptwriter and Persis Way. I could be pronouncing that wrong, but there was 3 lengths between them in the grade 2, and now there's a 3 pound swing at the weights. And the Moore horse has had one run since and won by about 15 or 20 lengths. Now it was a very weak race. He bet nothing. Excuse me, but Nusret, is he good enough? We don't know enough about him, but I don't fancy the other two, so I'd be happy to take the favourite there. And then just one side point there, Jackpot de Chazelle. God, these are tricky enough names, some of them.
They are tricky, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's his first run for John McConnell. Had one run in France, won that, and the horse that came third won on his British debut there about 3 months ago. For who was it for?
Donald McCain.
Donald McCain, exactly. So it maybe just want to keep an eye out on. John McConnell usually doesn't waste petrol.
No, he doesn't. No, or diesel, whatever's in the trucks, he doesn't waste it.
No, he doesn't. When he goes over, he usually has a plan. So look, he's got one later on in the card too, actually. But I go with the favourite. What do you think, Elaine?
I go with Scriptwriter.
Okay. The second race then, Monmoral 7-1.
Yeah, he's going to win it, I'd imagine. Like, you'd be very disappointed if he was beaten here. The mare in the race, Kisses for Katie, she's 8-year-old. She beat Sky Ace into third last time out. Before that, the Peterborough Chase winner, Pick Dory, beat her and Newton Abbott there in October by 2 lengths, giving her, I don't know, what's it looking like, over £20. So, like, she's a lot to find ratings wise with Monmoral. She's probably with the weight swing, she's still 7 or 8 pounds off. So, and he's going to improve for another run over fences. So I'd imagine he'll win that and she'll follow him home.
Yeah. That's fair enough. Onto our third race then. 2 mile handicap chase, a nice race actually. Editor De Geet tops the betting there at about 9-4. There's been money for him. Looking down through the field there's probably 2 horses that stand out to me. They've both had wind operations since their last run. Gumball has become very well handicapped. Fergal O'Brien has a 33% strike rate in the last 14 days. Off 135, you'd need the wind operation to have done something, or something to have clicked there for him. 4-1, I like the look of him. And the other one is Third Time Lucky. He really likes it there at Cheltenham. And 7-8-1, I think, is a fair price on him. I don't like the favourite. I think an official rating of 153. I think the handicapper sort of has him within its grasp. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I agree with you on Editor Jeet. Like, I would have thought, like, he won this race last year, off 147. So he's up £6. He'd Niall Houlihan claiming 5 that day, so he's really up £8 because Houlihan's only claiming 3 now. So, like, he was fourth in the Grand Annual. Like, he was only bet 6 lengths. If I was Gary Moore, I'd be handicapping him for the Grand Annual again. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he was down the field and bet. Like, he's beaten 13 lengths on reappearance and his mark wasn't moved. So I wouldn't be surprised if he was beaten again. I don't know what will beat him. Maybe Time White, I don't know, 6-year-old, he might improve again, but I'm not sure. I wouldn't be a betting race for me anyway.
Yeah, it's not a race that I get too bogged down in either. But if I had a gun to my head, I'd probably go Third Time Lucky. He likes Cheltenham. So on to our fourth race. I know you like to look at one in here, an Irish Raider.
I do, yeah. You have to back the Raiders. Sole Pretender for Norman Lee is making his handicap chase debut. Like, he is 8. He probably is fair enough. He's £2 higher than his Irish mark of 143, so he's off 145. Michael O'Sullivan's taken off 5. He showed last weekend he's claiming 5, but he's not a claimer, like, and I think Ruby alluded to it on the road to Cheltenham last night as well, that, like, he's 22 or 23, like, and he's had plenty of winners in point-to-points and stuff, so he's hardened, like, there. So Sole Pretender, he's ran to 147 in his last 3 starts. The last 2 have been in Cheltenham. He was third in a novice chase to Straw Fan Jack, and then he was third to Banbridge in the Arkle trial, the grade 2, over 2 miles, going up to 2.5. I'd say that'll be more his trip. Like, it'd be nice to see him get out in front and be able to dominate. I think he could take a bit of pegging back, like running off effectively 140. I give him a fair chance at 12-1 there, 4 places each way.
Okay, very good. And one that I'd be very sweet on actually in that race is the favourite, Il Rodotto. He was beaten 5 lengths there in the Paddy Power by Gala. French Dynamite was second, and that was after 224-day layoff. He's only a 5-year-old, and after being beaten 5 lengths on his season reappearance after such a break, the handicapper dropped him £1 somehow. Now it's only £1. Look, it's not going to be the difference of it here or there in all likelihood, but not only was that his seasonal reappearance after 200 plus days off, it was actually his first run since a wind operation. So this is his second run since a wind operation. Paul Nichols are flying it. Actually, identical to Fergal O'Brien, a 33% strike rate at the moment. Paul Nichols has a nice few good chances on this card, and I just think he has to go very close. That Paddy Power form, I'd imagine, will turn into a good race. We'll say, when the other horses start running in that, I think it will be a strong race, and Il Redota, I think, is a great bet here at 5-1.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Like Nichols would win with the stable cat at the moment. Like he's throwing them in every which way. Like
So on to Epatante, the international hurdle.
Yeah, I want to take her on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Fuck it. She's 8. Like I know she ran an identical race in post rating in the fight in 5th to when she dead heated with Not So Sleepy last year, but just a few. You've 3 sort of up and coming improvers there. If I like to move at the one, the Great Wood, where they jumped about 2 hurdles. Napper's Hill that beat Score Royale in Wincanton, and then your First Street that won last time out as well. And crucially with First Street is he was second to Stateman, beating a length and a quarter or something in the county hurdle. I want to take her on. I'm not sure which yet. I think I'm going to do I Like to Move It. I just like his profile. I know he bombed in the county hurdle last year, but like he does go well around Cheltenham. He beat Tritonic in the 4-year-old hurdle last year. He won the Grade 2 Supreme Trial last year. He's obviously won the Great Wood since. No, I like him. I think I'm going to take her on with him. Yeah.
Okay, very good. To be honest, I think it's probably not a race to get too stuck into, because you've got such with unexposed, improving types and that. But I do think Epatante will win. Hard to split the other 3. Epatante she's the bar that they have to reach to, essentially. She's a fair price there at 6-4. I don't have too strong of an opinion on it, but I'd be thinking Epatante. And then that brings us on to the Bristol Novices Hurdle, actually, the Grade 2. I haven't had much of a chance now to look at this one. But I think you like one insider.
Yeah, I do. It was the race when you put up Hermes Ellen in the 10 to follow. We were sort of saying we hoped to go down the Gilino Bello route, or the Blazing Cal route more so. So he's obviously won the Ballymore trial over 2.5 miles, and now this is the 3-mile race. So Blazing Cal won both those last year. I was hoping Hermes Allen would go to this, but I think he's going to the Challow hurdle instead, which is fair enough. Nichols has won in this Outlaw Peter. He's posted the best race in post rating so far, 136 when he won in Exeter. But I like David Pipe's horse, Thomas Moore. So he's won both starts for David Pipe. Won in Worcester by 4 lengths in a maiden hurdle, and then won a novice by 57 in Wincanton. Completely and utterly destroyed them. Now the race did sort of fall apart, but like he's still won by 57 lengths. Crucially, I like what I like about him is he had 5 runs in point to points. So he's with Colin Bowe, beaten 3 times, or beaten once as a 4-year-old, and then beaten 3 times as a 5-year-old, and got off the mark at the 5th attempt. So like he's a real sort of old school Bartlett type, plenty of racing. Now maybe we've all been caught. He's a real talk horse. He was 3rd to Hermes Allen in November. Maybe he's a lightly raced horse. He'll improve, but I just like Thomas Moore. There was something about him when I looked up that race from Wincanton. I think he's a fair price at 4-1. Like I think he's going to win it.
There's been a lot of money actually for We've All Been Caught. I think he's been back in from, is it 5-2 or 3-1 into even money now?
Something like that. Yeah, he's into 5-4 here.
Yeah, but even I'd be for my Hermes Allen in the 10 to follow. It'd be nice to get a little form boost there.
For sure.
We've All Been Caught, but we'll see. It'll be a good race anyway. Right, and then our final race then is the Mayor's Handicap Hurdle. There's one, I had a look down through it. Indefatigable obviously isn't going. She ran very poorly today. But the one that I'd probably go with is Martello Sky. She obviously won the race last year. has been running quite well since then, and at the same time her mark has actually dropped back down to 140, which she was last year. She's very consistent, and she's actually 2 from 2 over course and distance. Aidan Coleman takes over from Bryony Frost, which I'm not sure what the story is there, if Bryony is injured or what's up. I'm not sure.
Idea.
But I'd see that as a positive. So yeah, that's Martella Sky. 5-1 is available, and she's so consistent. And you can get 4 places. I'd nearly go each way, because I think it'd be a shot to nothing.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I like the favourite, Theatre Glory. She unseated last time in a race that was won by First Street, the Jerry Field in Newbury there a couple of weeks ago. She's won over course and distance, won over 2.5 miles in a listed mares novice hurdle in April. So yeah, I like her. She's only been beaten once when she finished. She was behind Ellis Bell for Dan Skelton, that mare that died last year in Aintree. But yeah, I like her. I think she'll take a good bit of beating there. She's posted some pretty good ratings, race and post ratings there in her couple of runs towards the end of last season. So I think she's fairly handicapped around 137. There might be a small bit of scope there.
Okay, very good. Right, so that's our opinions, I suppose, on that card at Cheltenham tomorrow. I suppose it's important to point out that neither of us are tipsters, or neither of us claim to be tipsters. We're only having a bit of a conversation about it. But if there was one horse that you were going to get stuck into tomorrow, Killian, give me 1 or 2.
Thomas More, and Soul Pretender each way.
Thomas More and Soul Pretender each way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'll go Il Rodito, so I'll be taking on there with Soul Pretender. Il Rodito at 5-1. I think has a great chance. So he'd be my number 1, and my number 2, I go Martella Sky, 5-1 as well. And like I said, 4 places there. She's very consistent. You could nearly go each way, but
you could do a nice each way double on those 2.
You could, yeah, you could indeed. But yeah, I suppose that brings us to the end. It's only a short podcast, just with our views for tomorrow. We'd be very interested to hear any comments that you may have on tomorrow's races. So be sure to comment there underneath the YouTube channel. Subscribe as well, and leave us a comment there on Twitter what you think.
Yeah, and I suppose just looking at it's going to be a pretty light weekend in racing. So if there's any questions you have for next week's podcast, we'll appreciate it, because we won't have much to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, that's everything from us. So enjoy your weekend, and I hope to be back a few winners.